All right, guys, let's connect it up. Make sure we're here, we're there. Should be pretty good. Wait for it to connect with YouTube and all that stuff going on here. So what's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, and my fighters? It's March 13th, 2022. It's daylight saving day or whatever. We're lost an hour, so it's a little crazy. It's 1:02 and feels like 12:02, but either way, we're here to talk about The Walking Dead. So sorry, running a little behind doing some stuff here. I watched the episode 11:13 and just trying to get my stuff situated and all that stuff. It's going to probably take a week or two or 3 or 4, whatever, to get used to the time change. It's always a terrible thing for the time being. From now to November, I believe, is the time change. So how you doing, guys? Welcome. We're here to talk about The Walking Dead. We got some pretty big news since the last live stream. So we'll talk about a little bit 11-12. I'll talk about it a little bit. But 11-13, I definitely want to highlight that. The last 45 minutes, half hour of the stream, we'll talk about the main episode, 11-13. So the first 15 minutes, we keep it general. For those who don't know, we talk about The Walking Dead stuff. There was more recent filming of the final episode we're going with, because some people think like they film all the episodes out of order. I don't know if they always do that, but they have in the past. But I highly doubt that they're going to film, a middle of the road episode of the third part now when they already filmed the finale. It just doesn't work. So to me, they're filming the final episode recently in Griffin. They were back in Griffin. I believe they were around the same hospital that we saw in season 10, season 5, or whatever that was with Beth. So previous, we saw stuff going. We saw a bunch of different times where filming locations were reused, and there's been a lot of reused filming locations over the series. But so there was recent filming news in Griffin. I saw some stuff. There was only one confirmed cast member that I saw. It was Father Gabriel. So it looks to be that he makes it to the finale. And I think we're going to make a lot of characters are going to survive. And that's my segue into the recent news. The Maggie, Negan, Isle of the Dead 2023 6-episode series. First season. So, the Grady Memorial area, the same spot where they filmed the hospital. That same spot, there was a filming location that might be used again in the finale, is what the word was for filming. So, but the last Sunday we had the live stream and we talked about season 11, episode 11 and 12. We'll talk about 12 and 13, and let's talk about the recent spin-off news. So I saw a couple of different articles online and people and discussions on Facebook and Instagram and our pages and different groups. And it doesn't make sense to me while they're having it or why they announced it. Not why they're having it. It makes sense because they want to continue the name. Maggie, Negan pairing up. I think it's an odd pairing, but we'll have to see if it plays out. On paper, it just sounds really dumb from what we had with the lineup and Negan killing, Glenn, and it just doesn't make sense if you think about it there too. And you could have Negan pair up with somebody else, but he's connected with Maggie, so I guess that's what they're doing. My question is why did they announce it last week? We haven't even finished the second part, let alone the third part, and we're already getting news about a 2023 show of Maggie and Negan. It's cool that we're getting spin-offs, but it's going to water down the finale and the main series. It's like not going to feel like it's a series that's ending, right? So it's like, why are we getting this news? I like the idea of spin-offs in general, the general idea of it, but we found out about the Carol Darryl show, I don't know, a year ago? Like 2 years ago? I don't even know what it was. It feels like so long ago that we found out about the Carol and Darryl show. Now, a lot of us thought that Carol and Darryl would be safe, or at least Darryl would be safe. But then it was kind of one of those things that, is anybody safe? Is anybody safe? Is everybody safe? That makes sense for the spinoffs, obviously. If you're having a spinoff show, you have to survive. But The Walking Dead for a long time was like, you don't know who could die. This character could die, that character could die. And they did. I mean, every season we were losing characters. And then we lost some pretty big characters. right? Then we lost Carl, and we lost, just Rick went away, never to be seen again, or yet to be seen yet. Michonne went away, haven't been seen. So there's a lot of characters that just, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. The big thing is, why are they doing it? The Carol and Daryl show, there's a lot of people saying a lot of different articles and quoting stuff from people saying stuff. And again, there's a lot of people just trying to get views and clicks and articles and whatever. They're like, yeah, is the Carol and Daryl show not happening? Is it all fake? Is Daryl going to get Rick's comic death? That would be the stupidest thing ever, because the way it's ending, it's not really ending. We're going to have spinoffs. I don't even know if we're going to have more spinoffs too. So if we're going to have the Maggie Negan show, is Herschel going to be in it? Is Elijah going to be in it? Is Lydia going to be in it? Do all three of those die? Are they going to go? It doesn't make sense, right? So the Carol and Daryl show, they're going to go away and do their own thing. It's going to be a totally different show. And the Maggie and Negan show, it's going to reinvent The Walking Dead. Well, the last thing we need is a reinvention of a show that worked, right? Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's a great adage. It's a great saying, but do that. If the TV is working fine, don't fix it. Don't try to fix it. It's working. If the car is working good, don't start messing with the engine, right? I mean, it's just common sense. The Walking Dead has a simple formula. Build up the cast, build up the story, make us care about these people, lose a couple people, but, characters that are kind of expendable, if you say. But then the characters that still live just make sense. So, I don't know. But Jeffrey Dean Morgan said it's going to reinvent The Walking Dead. Does it need to be reinvented? Does it need an overhaul? Or does it need to end? Jonathan Wilder, Q&A, will Waggy leave little Herschel behind when she goes off with Negan like Michonne left RJ and Judith to go find Rick? The Walking Dead loves to do that. Be like, you got kids? Just leave them behind. Go do what you got to do, right? If you're a doctor, you're going to get killed off. You're an animal. You're not going to make it. If you got kids, just go leave them. Other people watch them. Judith? Nah, the other people take care of Judith, RJ. Where's Gracie at? It's like, what are these parents doing? It's kind of laughable of what this turned into. And the show has a lot of characters, a lot of story, a lot of stuff. But it's some of the stuff they're doing recently is kind of laughable. Especially with I could see Michonne trying to go find Rick. That makes sense. But leaving Judith and RJ doesn't make sense. I don't know. It's just one of those that has to be done for the story. Michonne was leaving because Denai was leaving the show, so they had to do something. So I'll have to see if Michonne ever comes back around again, if Rick's going to come back around again too. So we'll see. But overall, guys, so I want to highlight my terrible dark cover of In 100 Days Part 3. So it is a terrible proof. It is too dark, and it sucks because in the software that I have for it, it doesn't look this dark. It's lighter. It's actually really good. And then when you make the PDF and it gets changed, but this is why we do a proof to make sure that this is not the final copy of the cover. But I changed it. You can't see some of the different things, but on the back is there In 100 Days Part 3, and I'm excited for it. In 100 Days Part 3 starts on the 73rd day of the zombie apocalypse and finishes on the 100th day. Several days have gone by since what happened in Part 2 of In 100 Days saga. The Sinclairs have made it to an OTU campus, and it seems too good to be true. Find out what happens to our heroes in this final part of the In 100 Days trilogy. So it's definitely something that I'm excited to share with you guys. I'm on Chapter 9 of my final edit. So once I finish those last chapters that I have to do, it's going to be ready to rock and roll. So I'm hoping and planning next weekend at the latest that I will be available, but I want to make sure that it's done right. So I was going to be like, I'm going to edit it a little bit here, but then I went back and there was a couple things I needed to change, punctuation, whatever. So I had to go back and change it, and I'm glad I'm taking the time to do it and making sure it's done right. So Mark Simmons, Q&A, Bri, who is doing the writing for all the spinoffs? Good questions. I would assume some similar writers or the same writers from the main series. I know Angela Kang is supposed to be the showrunner for the Daryl and Carol show. One of the producers is the showrunner for Tales of the Walking Dead. I forget her name. And some other guy is going to be the showrunner for the Maggie and Negan show. It's in the video. I just don't know who he is. So they have different showrunners to do that. And I would assume they're the same writers from The Walking Dead that are going to branch out too. So it makes sense that they have people from the main show coming over to it. But I don't know. Like it doesn't matter who's writing if you're limited to what you could do. Like if you think about it, The World Beyond was supposed to open up our world to the CRM. And it didn't really do that much. We got to know the campus colony, Omaha, a little bit of Portland, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Hope, Iris, Dr. Bennett. We get to see new characters. But it didn't really do much for a lot of us. Like, we don't mind new characters, or at least I don't mind new characters. If they really help the story, it really bridges the gap with things here and there. But it just doesn't make sense to me to just have characters just to have characters. Like Fear the Walking Dead is just going all over the place. It's just painted itself in corners. And then like, you know what? We're going to start fresh. Throw Morgan in there. So Morgan goes cross country and just John Dory and June and these characters change the dynamic. And then they're like, well, we want to get rid of that character. That actor wants to leave. So that's going to we're going to write this character off. And then, never say never. Bring the character back. It's just bringing Madison back. It's just kind of crazy. So we'll have to see what they do. More shows suck at the end. And recently, Game of Thrones was, how do you wrap something up? Well, you have to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I think the ending has to be rewarding. I think it has to it has to be rewarding for the cast, for the characters, for the writers, but more importantly, the viewers. The viewers have to feel satisfied for what it is. You have to feel like, okay, there's a lot of build up, and it's just, I don't know. Champion Productions asks Q&A, who is the actual group who attacked the Commonwealth convoy? I will talk about that when we talk about the episode. So, we'll talk about that later. But so, ultimately, the Commonwealth story arc is slower for a lot of people, and I've seen so many times that people love to say, the new episodes are okay, but I love the old days. Who loves the old days compared to what it is now? Well, yeah, when you're starting off and you're doing this, it's like, I don't know. It is what it is. The show is going to end the way it ends. It's probably not going to feel like an ending because it's not going to be an ending. It's going to be left open-ended for potentially other spinoffs, I guess, right? Are we going to get an Aaron and Father Gabriel spinoff? Are we going to get a dog spinoff? Are we going to get a Judas spinoff? Are we going to get a Michonne spinoff? The Rick movies, are those considered spinoffs? I don't know. So Jeffrey Brooks says Better Call Saul is about to be awesome with its ending. So exactly. So Better Call Saul is not an ending. It's an ending of that show, but Better Call Saul lives on because he's in Breaking Bad. And I like the most recent seasons, probably the last two seasons, because it connects so well with the Breaking Bad story. It's really, really awesome too. So, but to do things, Breaking Bad was really good because there was 6 seasons. A show that's usually 5 or 6 seasons is usually pretty good. Like if imagine The Walking Dead ended on the 6th season. That would suck because we didn't get 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11. But season 7 really wasn't the best in my opinion. Season 8 was kind of lackluster. Season 9 was better. Season 10 was better. Season 11 is pretty good. So it's like we don't get what we get. But seasons, if you prolong the series, it's there too. No, Jonathan Watt, I haven't seen Fantastic Beasts, any of those movies. I'm not a Harry Potter fan, so I don't watch that, even though Luke is in it. Pretty cool. I just don't. That's not my thing. I've seen one Harry Potter movie, and that's just not for me. But ultimately, The Walking Dead is going to be what it is. They're gonna prolong that series. So if you're AMC, right? So after this season, or after this, I don't know. I know Better Call Saul is 2 parts. I want to say. I think the final season is in 2 parts. So Constipated in Sin City. What's up? Family's good. I didn't see Batman yet. I'm waiting to see that. Dirty Kenzo, where is Luke? Luke is at Oceanside. We didn't see him yet. So we'll have to see. I want to see Batman. I heard it's good. I know it's a long movie. It's about 3 hours. But I did see The Adam Project. And it's a good movie. but it takes things from so many different stuff. Like it's got Star Wars in it. It's got E.T. in it. It's got not the actual stuff, but it's got Back to the Future in it. It's got all these different feels of all these different movies coming together. And the Adam Project is pretty good on Netflix. It's got the feels. It's got the story. It's got the humor. It's a good show. It's a good movie on Netflix, that's for sure. So, all right, guys, that's my general topics for the first 15 minutes. Spoiler warning, spoiler warning, spoiler warning for all the different stuff here. So, Season 11, Episode 12, we'll talk about that a little bit. We talked about it last live stream. I'm just trying to brace myself for what it is. But, 11, 12 is the Commonwealth coming to Oceanside, Alexandria, Hilltop, stuff. Oceanside doesn't want to have the treaty, the pact, the agreement with Commonwealth unless Maggie does. Alexandria needs the help. Commonwealth wants all of it, or Lance wants all of it. Lance wants to rule the world, to change the world, to take over things, and he needs communities of his own to do that. Alexandria, Commonwealth, or Alexandria, Hilltop, and Oceanside are useful to him. So he wants that for himself. You get to see Pamela Milton understands what's going on with Lance. Maggie doesn't want the help. They kind of build it up, does this, bad CGI. It's like, the episode has some flaws. It's the halfway point of the season, of the series, the final season of it. So we get to see Lance. We get to see Lance doing his thing. And he kind of convince Maggie to join. But Maggie, it's like all about, you got to like schmooze Maggie and be like, well, Maggie, we can do this and we can do that. If you sign right here, we can help you. No, we don't help you. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. Pamela Milton's trying to work her angles. Lance is trying to work his angles and it doesn't work. Then the Commonwealth soldiers take out the walkers. Maggie sees that the Commonwealth is dangerous. The Commonwealth could just take over Hilltop, right? I mean, they just could. They could just be like, yep, this is ours. But it's kind of turns into the Saviors type of thing. And Maggie, Hilltop, they want to use them as a partnership. You don't want to just take over. We'll have to see what happens in the next coming episodes, but I think the Commonwealth's going to go back to Hilltop. But eventually, Maggie does not agree with the Hilltop or the Commonwealth. So the Hilltop is going to be on their own. Oceanside's going to be on their own. And Alexandria is going to need the help from Commonwealth, and they are. So Pamela Milton says you have to have all three communities or you get none. But she changes her mind. There's a nice callback to Deanna. Pamela Milton knew Deanna, and so it's kind of cool there. Mercer is still trying to help our group. Eugene gets to talk with Max. They have little disagreements and blah, blah, blah. But then we learn that Max is the person on the radio, and that's ultimately what we finally get to there. So they answer some stuff, set some things up for the back half of the season, or the series, I guess. And then they set some things up with Max, Eugene, and Lance, of course. But also the dialogue, I have a whole separate video about it, that Lance goes in to talk to Pamela Milton, and Pamela Milton's like, we got to get back to the Commonwealth. Lance is like, hey, we're not done yet. We're not done. We can do this. No, we're done. It was a valiant effort. Good try. Good do that. Well, and then Pamela Milton's all into Lance. Like, Pamela Milton is not dumb. She knows that Lance wants his own things, his own communities, his own stuff. But ultimately, she gives in to Lance and says, look, Lance, you can have Alexandria. Do your thing with that. But if Commonwealth takes a hit, you're out. It's done. You can't do this anymore. So Lance is like, okay. But the question is, how are Lance and Pamela Milton are related? Because Pamela Milton clearly says, for as long as I've known you, you've always been ambitious. That's kind of a line that you say to a friend that you've known forever, a family member, a sibling, a cousin, a stepbrother, a stepsister, whoever it is. It feels like someone you've been around for a long time. Pamela Milton looks markedly older than Lance. I don't know their ages, just the way they look, but Pamela Milton is the daughter of William Milton, who was the president of the United States, I believe. The coin that Lance has, we don't get to see the coin, but we saw it in another thing, has William Milton's face on it, which is actually Tom Luce, an executive producer on The Walking Dead. That's the artwork of William Milton is Tom Luce, or Luce. I don't know how you say his last name, but it's Luse, I believe. So we get to see that, and they build up for it, but Lance ultimately is going to run Alexandria, help run Alexandria, probably take over Alexandria. Alexandria is, the main group, the main area. We'll probably see Oceanside a little bit. We got to see Oceanside, but Rachel is running Oceanside and not Cindy, which is weird. We don't see Luke. We don't see Jules. We don't see any other characters besides Rachel talking to Pamela Milton and that. So basically the episode ends with Lance pulling a Sasha type thing where she's killing the walkers. He's got his gun, shoots 2 bullets in the air, wastes 2 bullets, shoots a walker, he's got 1 bullet left, a walker's coming towards him. Alexandria is their focus and topic that Alexandria, that Aaron and Lance talk about. And Lance is kind of in this weird giddy movement. He's aces, he's this, he's that. We're going to take over the world. He's going to double it up. He's going to bring all these extra people to Alexandria because that's his community now that he wants to do, and then kills a walker, and that's it too. So ultimately, the episode 11-13 starts with a very dramatic hilltop. So you see a walker walking in the brush, walking towards hilltop. Someone grabs an arrow. It's Elijah. He grabs an arrow, takes back the string, the bow, aims it, adjusts it, lets the arrow fly. You see the arrow fly into the air and kills the walker upside down to the angle. So what's the symbolism there? What is it? I'm not sure, but it's Elijah and Marco having a competition trying to kill walkers. Marco is winning 9-8. As Elijah is ready to take another arrow, Lydia starts walking towards the front gate. She's going to leave. Elijah kind of has a thing for Lydia, and it's kind of funny. Marco's like, yeah, come on, say something, do something. The whole time. Lydia's going to leave to go to the Commonwealth. She has a map or a pamphlet, booklet, something to go to a Commonwealth checkpoint. So we see some Commonwealth checkpoints. They're around at least, so we know some stuff has changed, some time has changed. There's been a time jump from the last episode. So more time has gone by. Of course, they're playing with time a little bit. It jumps around a little bit here. So I think one month has gone by. So ultimately, Lydia is going to leave, and she goes through the gates. And as Elijah watches Lydia leave, Marco's like, "Come on, there's your chance. There's your chance." So he's like, "Hey, do you need an escort?" And Lydia turns around. He's like, "Why?" And Marco's like smiles, like, "Okay, what you got now, buddy boy?" She's giving you the Q&A. What you got questions? He's like, because it's a long walk. You may get bored. And then before Lydia answers, there's a guy on horseback. He's like, "Rider, bloody." He's like, "Saviors are coming." No, there's no Eduardo or Cal, but there's a guy on horseback. He's bloody. He's not doing well. Lydia sees him. The guy looks up, and it's a young man that we haven't really seen before. His name is Jesse. We'll find out later on. They jump around a little bit in time. It's a month later, here, there, well on here. It jumps around a little too much with time, but it's not bad. You kind of understand what's going on. But either way, the rider falls off the horse. Lydia goes over to him. The guy mumbles something like, it's like you can't really understand what he's saying. The map is given to Lydia. It's all bloodied, and then he dies. And that's the opening sequence of it. Dragon asks Q&A, think Lance might bring Shira and the rest of his Black Ops crew to Alexandria? I hope so. I hope there's something else going on with that. I would assume that he'll probably stash them there because that's his community and he won't have to worry about having secret meetings. So we'll have to see. So especially if Shira will be away from Eugene, it would make sense that Eugene would stay at the Commonwealth and his people would be there. So that makes sense if that happens. I don't know, but I could see that happening. So we see that Maggie, Elijah, and Lydia are talking. Maggie does not want to help Riverbend or the people that she thinks she's going to go find because Maggie doesn't have the resources. She's like, maybe we shouldn't have done this. Well, what's about helping people? What about helping people in the past? Well, maybe we shouldn't have helped people. If we leave, we may get attacked at Hilltop. Who's attacking Hilltop? Who wants to go attack that place? It looks crappy. It's not doing that great. The walls, they look more secure and it's doing better. But you can see that the Commonwealth people, I guess, helped build and fortify the walls and the doors and everything there too, or the Hilltop people did it. Elijah and Lydia want to go help. They're going to go do it without Maggie. As they're walking, they're putting supplies in the back of a blue truck that I guess is running on biodiesel. It's amazing how people have cars and transports to get around now, where so many seasons in the past, they didn't have guns, they didn't have transport, they had horseback, horse and buggy. That's all they had. But now they're like, hey, let's get in the blue truck and head on downtown. Let's go do it, man. You're like, what? All of a sudden, they got a biodiesel truck. I'm guessing it's biodiesel, but either way, Maggie joins Elijah and Lydia and says, I'll drive. The halfway point, you can switch. As she's about to leave, Herschel comes and says, hey, where are you going? How long are you going to be gone for? He's wearing a shirt that has red in it, so I don't know. Would they really kill Herschel off? That makes the question to me, Herschel, how is he not involved with the spinoff? Is he killed, and that's what Maggie goes after to get revenge in the spinoff? Not saying it will happen, but it could happen. Because why would she leave Herschel? That's the big question. Why does she go to New York City? I don't know, but we'll have to see. Bob Smith says, asks Q&A, who do you think will kill Lance? I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, would Eugene do it? If Lance does something evil, he's got to die for it, right? But it would be fitting for it to be Eugene. I don't know if it will be, but we'll see too. So either way, they're driving the truck down the road, and as they're driving, you get to see the dialogue. And it's clearly a truck that's not actually driving down the road for a big chunk of this, because Maggie's like, yeah, oh, well, I have to look at the road while I drive. Yeah, it's just done pretty poorly. She's moving her hand way too much. She'd be all over the road. And the dialogue is that Lydia and Elijah want to leave, want to have it better, want to do this. Why do they not want help from the Commonwealth? And Maggie's like, well, I grew up on a farm, and one day these developers wanted to come and buy the farm. And Herschel said, no, my dad didn't want to do it. So then there was a drought, and the people came, tripled the offer. They wanted to do this, wanted to do that. They knew that they needed our help. They left food on the front porch. My father let it rot. And they're like, why did he let it rot? Why did he do this? Because we don't want their help. We don't need their help. And we want to show them we don't need their help. But the animals were starving. We didn't lose any of them. Maggie could be lying out of her butt. We don't know. Who cares? We don't know this story at all. But Maggie says she doesn't need help from the Commonwealth because her daddy didn't need help. And once you take help, you're going to owe people something basically for that. But again, maybe it's me, but it's really annoying. Two things in movies and shows. When they make a phone call and then they don't say bye. They're just like, yeah, I see, blah, 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 and they just hang it up. They don't say bye at all. They don't end the conversation at all. It's pretty hilarious. Also, when they're driving, there's no regard for the road. Lydia is in the front passenger seat, and Maggie is driving. And Maggie's like, yeah, I see what you're saying, but yeah. She glances at the road for like 2 seconds, and then they talk, and then she's driving, and then she turns the wheel, and you can see the same thing with the fan, kind of like that blows the hair. Like, it's clearly just screen going by them, and it's just done. Like, it's so cheesy for what it is. But, and then either way, they come up, and again, Maggie's not watching the road, so she's like, yeah. And then Lydia's like, watch out. So she's like, ah. So then she brakes, and then, 200 feet away is 3 dead, zombified Commonwealth troopers. So they come out, they put them down. Maggie opens up the armor on the neck, and they see that the Commonwealth troopers, their throats were slashed, and they were shot in between the gaps of the armor. So there's 3 dead Commonwealth troopers. We don't get to see who actually killed the troopers or took the convoy of the weapons and stuff, but my guess is that it's Leah. We don't see Leah, we don't see this, but I'm guessing it's Leah. We're not going to find out who answers it this episode. It's going to be next episode. This episode ends abruptly. It's like it's a double episode where they cut it right down the middle, and it's like a 2-part episode. It doesn't say to be continued or whatever, but it just feels that way because it ends very abruptly. Like in the middle of the conflict when it's kind of escalating and getting good. It's like, yep, tune in next week, and that's what'll be next week's episode. So we see that, and then it jumps to a month ago or something like that. And then we get to see that Aaron goes to a church in the Commonwealth. Father Gabriel is doing a sermon or, providing service, and he's talking and talking and talking. I have to say that Seth, not Father Gabriel, but Seth, looks very skinny, like in his jawline and his body. And I'd say he looked very skinny over the course of part 2. He doesn't look bad, but he looks like he lost a lot of weight. And it's really prevalent to me in this episode. So Father Gabriel's doing his thing, and he's providing a speech, and he's doing the things, and he's providing a service to people there. And it's a good thing to see Father Gabriel, his job, and he's being there for the people. Aaron goes in and sits down, and then Aaron talks with Father Gabriel after the service is commended or ended. So there's a lot of red candles in there, my red theory, but I feel like Aaron is going to die. I don't think Father Gabriel is going to die for various reasons, but I feel like right now my top choices for character deaths are Aaron, Lydia, Elijah, and those are my top 3 right now that I think could die this part or next part. I think we have to have a major death. Like, we lost Alden in 1109, but that really wasn't a big shocker to us. I think we have to lose one more character here and one more character at least in the third part. We don't have to lose anybody, but I just feel like we're going to. And those are my 3 people that I think are going to die. But ultimately, Aaron recruits Father Gabriel for an emissary mission to go meet these new people in Western Virginia that have this area that it's just weird that Aaron is being sent out. But I guess Aaron has been working with this new guy, Toby Carlson, that we find out is a weird dude. But so Aaron and Father Gabriel are talking. This new kid, Jesse, comes in, and he's like, Carlson's ready for you. He's like, okay, blah, blah. So then they go and they leave. So then Father Gabriel, Aaron, they leave the church. And to me, this episode feels a lot like the season 10C episode. I don't know if it was episode 19 or 21. I forget the number. Or it's not 21 because that's the rat episode. And Negan's 22 and 17 is Maggie. So it's either 18 or 19, whatever the Father Gabriel Aaron episode is with Maze and Robert Patrick. It feels a lot like this episode, especially with Aaron, Father Gabriel, and I hope you know who Michael Biehn is, or I don't know how to say his last name, but he's in Terminator, he's Kyle Reese, and he's in Aliens, and he's in this episode. He's also in The Mandalorian, and he's in this episode. So another Terminator franchise person focused with Aaron and Father Gabriel, Robert Patrick, Terminator 2, Aaron, Father Gabriel. It feels just like that too. Also, there's another small little Easter egg in this episode that's in that episode too. And I'll talk about that in my Easter egg video, this week, because I'm already working on that because there's some pretty good Easter eggs in this episode and callbacks and connections. So as Father Gabriel and Aaron are there looking at this brick building in the distance, Father Gabriel doesn't think it's a good idea because it's a brick building and it's weird. And then you see Clark Carlson, which is Toby Carlson. He has binoculars and he's looking at it, and they focus on him a lot. And it's a new character, which is good and also bad. It's like they put a lot of focus on this guy. And it's a Commonwealth angle. He's connected with Lance that we find out. But he's looking at the binoculars and he's putting it down. He's really excited. And he's like, yeah, the dopamine and, the adrenaline comes together and boom. And he's like he's really pumped to go meet these peaceful people. Like, it's a red flag for Father Gabriel. And Father Gabriel is a good judge of character and he knows what he's doing too. So you see Jesse, this new guy, looks like one of those people that would go to like a third world country and provide service and people and build something for them. Like, it totally looks like that, like a parishioner, I believe they're called. He's got that feel to it. Well, Jesse doesn't last long in this episode because he's the one that's actually shot and he gets sent to the hilltop and he actually dies. So you have Carlson, Jesse, Father Gabriel, and Aaron, and they're talking about what to do. And the troopers are setting up camp. And Father Gabriel's like, what are they doing here? And Aaron's like, are they setting up camp? And he's like, yeah, you guys are going to go in, do your thing, and they'll be out here ready. And Aaron's like, what? Father Gabriel's like, this is a crappy plan, and I don't want to die. So what are you talking about, right? So they talk to Carlson, and he's like, well, this isn't for discussion, bro. This isn't going to work. It's not going to do this. We got to go do this. So Carlson, Jesse, Father Gabriel, and Aaron walk towards the front of the building. And Aaron puts his bag down, takes out an MRE, and says, hey, I'm Aaron. We left some food out there for you, an MRE, some water, stuff out there. It's gone. So, yeah, Jesse's definitely a red shirt, and he's gone for sure. So Aaron tries to do his thing, as he's the guy from, it's very nice callbacks from season 5. And there's a lot of callbacks in this episode, which is always good to see. It's always like, yeah, I remember that, remember this. Again, my Easter egg video, I'm going to talk about them much more involved later this week, so stay tuned for that. And so they open up the doors. This guy opens up the door, comes out, and you see the lady with the shaved head, the buzzed hair. And I guess it's just a Easter egg callback to Alpha. Because this lady, we don't even get her name, even though online it says her name is Hart, and she's killed in the episode, so it doesn't even matter. It's like there's all this build up in the trailer. We saw this lady, like, oh, new group, new this, new that. A lot of them are taken out. So you're like, what? What's the point of this, right? So either they come in, she's like, weapons, give me your weapons. So they go get the knife from this, the machete, the knife, and the gun from Carlson. And they look at Aaron's mace hand, and he's like, yeah, that's the take off. I can't get it off. So they come in, and it's not a cane. It's actually a sickle, like the Grim Reaper has. Is actually what she has on her. It's kind of a terrible weapon if you're fighting someone. It's good keeping a distance, but it's probably slow and sluggish if you miss. Probably good to take out a couple walkers, but either way, it's a sickle like the Grim Reaper, but that's what she actually has. It's not a cane on her. So they go inside, they do this, they pat him down, they lock the door behind them, and they say, third door on the right. And is what? They get to go meet the leader. Mike Allen says, that, Bri, I think you're right. Leah, the way the Commonwealth soldiers' throats was cut is a special forces tactic, caught the silence sentries, same with Air. Yeah, I think it's Leah. It just makes sense. And she's still out there, and we're definitely going to see her again. And so I hope Leah gets more story arc, because I like the Leah Daryl stuff from season 10C. And it's cool to see stuff from season 10C come back around in season 11 part 2. So it wasn't like a waste of time. It wasn't like, what did I watch these episodes for? And it's kind of cool when it connects. So Aaron, Father Gabriel, Jesse, and Carlson, or Toby, Toby Carlson, right? Sinead O'Connor. Lock 121. Sinead O'Connor is really going downhill. So they're walking down the hallway, and that's the lighting where the red and the yellow and the stuff, the lighting. They go into a room. In the back of the room, there's these skulls on a shelf. Someone sitting at the table is Mike. I don't know how to say his name. Michael Behan, whatever. It's Kyle Reese from Terminator. And I forget his name in Aliens, but he's a great 80s actor from 2 movies that I love, Terminator 2, and he's not in Terminator 2, but Terminator and Aliens. I love Aliens. Aliens is one of my favorite movies. And he's in Mandalorian too. So he's the leader of this group sitting at a desk. It's not the bald lady or the buzz cut lady named Hart. It's this guy. I don't think we get his name, but he's sitting with his back to the people. He spins around in his chair, and he's talking to. He talks to everybody, tells them to sit down, and he's like, "So what do you guys want here? What are you doing here?" "Well, we are working for this," and blah blah blah. And Aaron does his pitch, and he does his thing, and it's definitely a cool thing to see Aaron try to win these people over. It's kind of like he was in season 5 with our group and the storm and all that stuff. And so Aaron's doing his thing, and this guy's not buying it. He's like, yeah, food and this and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't like this. And so Aaron goes, he says, if you give me my bag, I'll show you what it is. He tries to working on the pitch and work on this and work on that. The guy's not buying it, right? Well, where's your community at? And Carlson says, well, he can't tell you that. He's like, well, if he can't tell me, why am I talking to him? Should I be talking to you? Blah, blah, blah. So he stands up, and he gets the gun, the Desert Eagle gun, his badass gun, points it at Carlson's head. And Carlson's like, no, get on your knees. Oh, no, okay. Would I be an idiot to just let you guys walk out of here? Because this would be done, blah, 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 on your knee. And he's like, threatening him. And Carlson's like, scared, blah, blah, blah. And Aaron tries to calm the situation down. Father Gabriel says, look, there's a gun squad outside. Hicks, that's what it is. Thank you, Duncan. Hicks. I know Ripley and, as a bishop, and but I'm like, I can never remember his name, but Hicks. And so Father Gabriel says there's a patrol and troopers outside. If we don't check in, they're going to come here and kill all you guys. And Aaron's like, well, it doesn't have to be that way. You just let us leave. We can all leave. It's good. You don't want our help. You don't want this. As the main guy, Hicks, is looking at Aaron, Carlson grabs the Desert Eagle off the desk, shoots the guy in the stomach or somewhere, wounds him, doesn't kill him, wounds him, kills the other people in the back of the room. And we're like, whoa, what the hell's going on with this guy? So then I think it jumps around a little bit. And then you see that I think it jumps back to the Commonwealth there because it jumps around a little bit. But either way, we'll jump back. We see Lance sitting at his desk. He's got his coin. He's like twirling his coin around. He's doing this. He's drinking. He's looking. And then someone comes in, knocks on the door. Hey, boss. Hey, chief. How we doing? It's Carlson. Carlson comes in. Toby Carlson is this guy's name, but they call him Carlson basically there too. So he goes and talks about, hey, how we doing? Blah, blah, blah. What's going on? Well, Lance has a problem. Some of the supplies that he sent to Alexandria, the guns, were taken. They were stolen. So, and Carlson's like, well, I'm retired now. I wake up, I meditate, I do my thing, I go out, help people. That's it. So this guy was put there to help basically find out about the guns and the food. Lance is drinking. He offers Carlson some alcohol. Carlson says he's 4 years sober tomorrow. And as he's drinking, he doesn't drink the alcohol, but Lance kind of coerces him to do it. And he says that all the dead troopers are basically 20-year-old kids. So these people are not skilled. The Commonwealth troopers are not skilled fighters. They're just people that put armor on and have minimal experience and training, probably by Mercer and the best they can. They're probably good at killing walkers, probably not good at killing people. So that makes me believe that Leah would easily take these people out. So it's definitely something that I think Leah is the one that stole the guns and the food from the supply thing, but we don't find that out. And that's what the big thing was, is that Lance thinks that the people at the Riverbend that's the people at the building that Father Gabriel, Aaron went to go see. It's called Riverbend. It's on the map. They don't say it, but it's on the map. It's Riverbend. And so we get to see Lance hiring Carlson, and Carlson was a former CIA assassin, badass dude. So he wasn't just some guy doing that. He has skills to do that. He's kind of a psychopath. And he puts the leader of, now then it's like present day, we see the leader being thrown down into the front lobby, and Hart and the rest of the people are all killed. So the buzz cut lady was really built up in the trailer, killed in the same episode. Doesn't really do much for it. So Carlson is going to interrogate the leader. He's not providing any questions, smacks him in the head with the gun and says, hey, what happened with the guns? And it's, oh, those, blah, blah, blah. And the leader is like talking to Carlson. Well, if I had the guns, don't you think? Carlson shoots him, kills him. Aaron's like, what? Before that, Father Gabriel punches Carlson in the face, gets handcuffed by the troopers. Carlson is, he kills the leader. He goes over to the guy's mouth and kind of pulls a savior type thing where he's like, oh, look at you saying all this stuff. You didn't last long. Kind of pulls the thing where the guy did with the walker head. And he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Kind of like just pantomimes the mouth, ventriloquist style. So as Carlson is kicking the leader while he's dead. You hear a horse trot off. He's like, oh, he runs out. Jesse got a horse and rides away. As he's riding away, a Commonwealth trooper shoots him in the shoulder blade, but Jesse gets away. Aaron smacks the Commonwealth trooper in the face with his mace, the ball hand, and kills him. Carlson looks at Aaron, points the Desert Eagle at him, out of bullets. Aaron and Carlson are about to fight. 2 Commonwealth troopers come out of the woods, fire some guns, really poor shooting. Aaron runs away. So when Maggie, Elijah, and Lydia killed the zombie troopers, she sees Aaron in the distance running down the dirt road. So Aaron got away, runs away in the woods, catches up with Maggie in the dirt path. We kind of see them talking. Maggie takes out the map that she found on Jesse and says, "Is this the best way in?" And Aaron's like, "What? Where'd you get that?" "Well, this is the map you gave him, right?" "I didn't give it to him." So then it cuts to Jesse, that time, at the same time when they were all there. It jumps around a little, but it says on the screen, a week ago or whatever it was, like the time that they were building it up to. He got away, runs away from the building, gets the horses. There's these 2 horses that are tied up. As he's there, someone behind him says, "How many of them are you?" The guy turns around. It's Negan. So Negan is finally back. So I don't know where people thought about Negan wasn't going to be till the second part or the third part or whatever, but we knew he was going to be showing up again. So he was in 1109. Then we didn't see him in 1110, 1112, or 1110, 1111, 1112. So he was back in 1113. So he was gone for 3 episodes, 10, 11, 12, back on 13. And so he's clearly there. He talks to the guy, Jesse. I don't get her name, but this black woman comes running there. She's like, "There's a priest and a guy with one hand." He's like, "Oh, Father Gabriel and Aaron." He knows, like, there could be no one else like that, but either way, it's them. He knows it's that. Negan walks over to Jesse, writes on the map, "Go to this location, ask for Maggie, no one else. Tell him that Gabe and Aaron are in trouble." And he writes on the map. The guy's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I'm from the Commonwealth. I don't know anything about this, blah, blah, blah." So he got on the horse and rides away. So we get to see Negan. But then we get to see Negan, and I don't know the woman's name that he's with, but she's the leader of the group that Negan is with. So we see the angle from when Negan and the woman they get inside the building. Carlson says, blah, blah, blah. Here's the horse trotting away. He runs out. The lady goes in, stabs the Commonwealth trooper in the neck. So they got all this armor, all this stuff, and they're getting killed by people with knives, and it's pretty. They're pretty piss poor, actually. Like, they're really weak. The armor is cool, probably mostly against walkers, but they're weak. They're struggling. They're not the best trained people. So either way, the lady stabs the Commonwealth trooper in the neck. Blood squirts out because Father Gabriel's standing there, zip tied with his arms behind his back. Negan comes in, cuts the zip ties. Father Gabriel's like, "Oh, Negan." Negan saves Father Gabriel. Father Gabriel, Aaron, and Father Gabriel and Negan, they look outside. They see Carlson and the showdown with Aaron. So we see it from Negan's perspective, kind of all the stuff we just saw. The gun, out of bullets. Aaron runs away. Negan says, Father Gabriel wants to run out there and help Aaron. Negan's like, "Look, we go out there, we're dead." So Father Gabriel, Negan, and the woman, they leave. They go into another room. So then it all kind of connects. It's all coming together, the same stuff. It's like at the same point this happened, we see it from this angle, that angle. It's good. So Carlson gets, he yells and he's like, "Oh, I was gone for 2 seconds and this all fell apart. Give me my armor." He goes up to the roof. He's got Commonwealth armor on now. He's got he's got alcohol that he's got a thing where he's 4 years sober, but he drips some on his finger, and it's called like Crescent Falls whiskey or something, or bourbon. I forget what the actual is. And he drips it on his fingers, and then he licks his finger. So he doesn't really drink it, but either way, he's having alcohol. So he gets a bullhorn, and he's like, "This community is outlaws against the Commonwealth. We have a blah, 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 blah," and they're trying to figure out what happened to the guns. So basically he says that he's going to kill all these people because you went against the Commonwealth and now you're enemies of the Commonwealth. So there's a break in the bricks on the roof. There's two people on their knees with their hands up on their head. And he goes, what happened to the guns? What happened to this? I don't know. Well, the tracks, from the convoy lead back to that spot. So I guess people were there and they had their tracks back to the spot. And, again, I still think it's Leah. We don't see that at all. But either way, Carlson kicks the guy off the roof, falls off the roof, dead. There's another guy next to him. Where are my guns? Where are the supplies? What happened to them? I don't know. Throws him off the roof. Negan, the woman, Father Gabriel, and then a couple other people that are part of, I guess, Negan's group. It's not Negan's group, but it's the woman that runs it. She's the leader. They're hiding in a room. And the Carlson guy's like, okay, well, we are going to search every place, every room in here, and kill everyone that doesn't help you. So they're going to go into all the rooms and kill them. The woman talks to her group and says, I know it's not, you got to fight these people. They don't know this place like we do. We can hide in these places and take them out and kill these people. So in another thing, we see Aaron, Elijah, Lydia, and Maggie kill one of the Commonwealth troopers, or knock him out at least, or whatever, and then drag the body away. Maggie takes the radio, clicks it off, and puts it on her belt. So Maggie, Aaron, Elijah, and Lydia are in the building, and it ends abruptly with Carlson leaving the roof with his Commonwealth troopers and then going towards the door to go inside. And that's how it ends. And I'm like, what? That's how it ends? Like, it ends really abruptly. But next week's episode is going to be inside the building. We see Aaron and Maggie with the rifles walking around, tactical, doing their thing inside the building. We see Commonwealth troopers, including Daryl, I believe, in the distance in the field, looking at the same building. It's hard to tell. It happened so fast. You see Mercer. You see stuff happening there too. So it's going to probably be like part 2 of this episode. What's going to happen there? So I would assume Carlson's going to get killed. I don't know if Aaron, Elijah, or Lydia are going to die in the episode. We don't know any of this, but I'm just thinking about it. Just would make sense because I think we have to have another death. A lot of people think Aaron may die. So I think Aaron, Lydia, or Elijah could die. I think Father Gabriel is going to be safe. I think Maggie's going to be fine. I think Negan's going to be fine. And, we'll have to see how it goes. But it's an episode that goes really quickly. And then I want to say, I don't know how long it is, like 40 minutes or so, but it's a very quick, fast episode that looks like it was cut right into there. But it feels a lot like the Aaron, Father Gabriel 10C episode with Maze. Like, to me, Aaron and Father Gabriel working together, you get to see that angle again, which is always good. And then you get to see, Hicks from Aliens and, Kyle Reese, another Terminator franchise person, Robert Patrick, the T-1000. You get to see, it's just got that same feel of the characters and how it is, the way it's shot and the way they are. Like, it's just the same thing for it. So overall, it's a good episode. I just feel like it's, I don't know, it just ends abruptly. That's all. It's a good episode, though, too. Ethan, Q&A, could the submarine from Fear have transported the fast zombies from Europe up to New York, or people from there infected with the new virus and now Maggie and Negan have to deal with them? Ethan, I think that's wishful thinking. The submarine was in Texas. I guess they could have went through the Gulf of Mexico, up the Atlantic Ocean to New York City, Manhattan, whatever, but I don't think so. I mean, if... I think that I have a whole separate video that I made, I hadn't posted yet, about is Isle of the Dead going to be like I Am Legend? I have a whole video where I'll talk about that. So if you want to check that out, you can have it too. So Mike Allen says, Q&A, do you think Lance had the gun stolen? I don't think so, because the way Lance portrays it, he's pissed off that it didn't work out. and that he doesn't want to have all these troops going there because he's trying to hide this from Pamela Milton. So I don't think he's probably pissed that it didn't work out, and he doesn't want to go to Pamela Milton for help to say, look, it's not working out, because he wants Alexandria to be his own. He wants it to be flourishing, a big community. He wants it to be just as good as the Commonwealth, and it's his. He wants to take ownership with it. So I don't think so. I think he's pissed that it didn't work out too. So Breaking Point Aftermath says, it's just not working for me. Too much filler. I'm ready for the end of the season and show, and I'm out of here on the spinoffs. Yeah, I see where I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I want to say that I'm enjoying it, the episode still, and the series still. I just think it doesn't feel like an ending. I feel like they're just going through the motions. And it's not the ending right now. We have a lot of episodes left. I mean, this was season 11, episode 13. We got 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24. We got 10 episodes left. 10 episodes left. That's crazy. That's a lot of stuff in there too. It's a lot of content, a lot of story, a lot of stuff building up, plus the spinoffs. I'm still waiting and hoping for more of the Commonwealth or the CRM connections. So we'll see how it goes too. So Bob Smith says, I'm out, Bri. Good to listen to you. I love your Tell Him Daryl. Thank you. Thank you, Bob. And hopefully you guys understand why I'm like, tell him Daryl. Because Daryl says, like, love you guys. You know, it's like my shout out to you guys, the fans, the subscribers, the patrons, the members, all that stuff too, is giving my love and support and, appreciation for it. And it's just, my video from the Walker Stalker convention. So next weekend, I'm not going to Fandemic in Atlanta, but I know there's a convention there. There's a lot of big cast. Daryl, Negan, Aaron. There's a lot of people going. I think a lot of cast are going to be there. I know Sebastian Stan's going to be there. Abraham's going to be there. Eugene. A lot of cast are going to be there for it. So it's Fandemic, which looks to be the new convention group or whatever there too. So Roy Smith says, we need a Linda Hamilton appearance now. That'd be amazing. Linda Hamilton or her sister would be pretty cool to see there, her twin sister too. So I would love to see about that. Not much Donnie T going on. Latest news on Fear. I don't know if I think the synopsis is talking about different things. I believe that season 7, episode 9 and 10 are going to be back-to-back stuff on AMC Plus on April 17th. You'll maybe be able to watch both episodes is the early word. There's a picture of Madison either filming season 7B or season 8. Going around. I saw that. It's just her standing by some, I guess, refinery things or something. I don't know. It's not much, but she's around there. So there's not much news about Fear the Walking Dead. It'll be, next month, April 17th, season 7B comes back too. So, Ethan, is the episode, he says yes, but it's confirmed that the submarine is from Pennsylvania. It's the USS Pennsylvania. That doesn't mean it's from Pennsylvania. That's just the USS Pennsylvania. There's a lot of aircraft carriers that are called this that are not around the States. So I don't know. I mean, I think you're really trying to connect the dots with the fast walkers and stuff, or the runners, I guess we'd call them. But there's just no way of that too. So we want to see this. You'll get a series called Dead in the Water. Yeah, from Fear the Walking Dead. We'll see if that actually still happens. It's just the Navy people that are there. There's enough Navy. They're not transporting. It's a submarine. It's not a cruise. It's a submarine that's there. So people can't just get off the boat easily in there too. So I don't know. I mean, I think you're wishful thinking, Ethan, but there's just nothing for that as well too. So thank you guys for being here. I truly appreciate it. I'll be back next Sunday. It's crazy that it's already 2:00. Today is Selection Sunday. For all you NCAA basketball fans, I can't wait to see what the brackets are. March Madness is upon us. Next week coming up is March Madness, the first rounds. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about The Walking Dead. Any other news about filming stuff, all that. Stay tuned this week for new videos of, I got to make my Easter egg video, this video, that video, a bunch of different stuff. I'm going to talk about my video. I'm not saying that it's going to be Isle of the Dead is going to be like I Am Legend, but I bring up the discussion and conversation. So be on the lookout for that this week. Thank you guys. I truly appreciate you taking the time. Enjoy tonight's episode and Talking Dead. If you're going to watch it tonight, I'll be back next Sunday. And remember, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories. Keep working hard. I'll be back next Sunday. See you guys. See ya.